Hey everyone, Shawn and Moo.
Hey guys.
Nice to see you. Now, one of the things that I keep repeating to my students after they hit a shot is, what's the last thing that's going through your mind, especially when they perceive that they hit a bad shot? So inevitably, it's always confusion. I don't know, I was hitting the ball. And you'll realize that you can always trace your bad shot to the last thing that was going on in your mind. You don't want to miss this show. A lot of neurology involved. We'd love to have Andrew Huberman's take on it in the comments. If this can make its way over to him, we'd really love it. But we've consulted a lot of neurologists in this process, and the information you're about to receive is very sound. You essentially have two operating systems in your machine for pure survival. If I was to clean the grooves on my club, the first thing my brain would do is immobilize my body and make it stand still, so I can make these fine manipulations to clean my club, or handle my phone, or for a dentist or a surgeon to take care of their patients. Now, the reason why you sit at the table is to immobilize your body very comfortably so you can manipulate your utensils. Now, for a lumberjack, or somebody with a sledgehammer or a pickaxe, that would not be very favorable. So I'm going to be reacting to the weight of my instrument, and as I do that, my body is then going to remove itself out of the way of that heavy object. And that's what we want for golf, because this golf club may be may be light, but the arm club unit that you're using to deliver, it needs to be cleared. It needs to have a clear path to the target. If I let my arm fall towards Moo here and I don't move my body, all that's going to happen is my arm's going to collapse into my body. But in order to go that way, if I say let it fall towards Moo, notice what happens is my brain is going to get a weight shift. It's going to use that to clear my body out of the way, so my arm gets to swing towards Moo. Now, it's the same thing here with the golf swing. I need full clearance in the backswing to go gather my range of motion, and then I need full clearance out toward the target so my arms can make their way toward the target unimpeded. And how does that work? Well, if I swing the club back and through without stopping, my brain right now is tuning in to the swing of my arms, and it's removing my body out of the way in both directions. This is really, really key stuff. So when I'm at address over the ball, and I'm saying, be careful, watch out, make sure, now my brain is saying, wait a second, this looks important. We gotta be careful and make sure we hit the ball. So the first thing it's gonna do is gonna freeze your body, and it's over. Then all you're gonna do is hit yourself twice. The arms are gonna get diverted offline, and you're gonna get very crooked, very short golf shots. So short and crooked is not a fun way to play golf. So in order to open things up, well, if I take the task of, well, I'm gonna use momentum to flick the tee into a nice somersault in the direction that I want to start this ball. Well, that's really different. If I take this ball off a tee here, and I'm going to flick that tee in the direction of my target, and especially if I've got an intermediate point, let me put something down here to help you guys out. So I've got my ball, I got my other ball as my intermediate point, and if, let's say, I was hitting a little fade, so I've got a flight plan that I'm going to start to the left of that red post, and then I'm going to get everything set up in a way that feels like I can move in that direction very easily, and then I'm going to bring that to the ball. So right now it feels like if I let this go, that my club wants to follow that path, and it wants to clip the tee to the left of that intermediate point. If I was too far from it, immediately my brain is looking for the ball right now, because it knows it can't go to the target anymore. When I go to the ball, it changes everything. the ball becomes the target, and that's the very definition of chaos. I've lost my target. You want the ball to be a precise intersection on the way to the target. This is what's key. So right now, if I let this swing back and through, I can see where the low point is, and I can see where it's passing, and then I can just bring this over. Yes, it feels like if I let it track, it wants to catch the ball in that direction. So it feels like there's nothing for me to do except witness the arm club unit track in that way. Let it track. Let it track.
Very nice.
That's a lot more like it. So backspin carry was good. That probably made it over 300 yards total, Moo?
Yeah, 304.
304.
Yeah.
Very nice. And there's my fade. So that caught the reading very nicely. What did the impact look like, Moo?
Yeah, sure. Let's check it out. Impact was pretty center.
Very stable. So you can see that. There's right in the center of that club face. Beautiful compression. We could see that the attack angle was on the way up like I wanted to.
Yeah.
The side spin was extremely low, 119 to the right. So that was a perfect straight fade down the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to a lot of you when you get to the ball, you're going, man, I'm going to hit this ball hard. And now you've got full attention. The brain's got to activate a very different set of muscles to do that. Now, what it does to help you do the things that you want to do, to help you manifest what you saw out there, what you want, physically, it needs to go through the premotor cortex. Now, that premotor cortex is the part of your brain that's going to pre-fire into that central nervous system to get you ready to perform a specific task. So if you're saying, hit the ball hard, then you're going to be very jumpy, very tense, and the timing of your swing is going to really suffer in the process. But if I say, hey, I'm going to use momentum, a nice dose of momentum, to whip the club through that arc to make the T somersault in that direction. Now the brain is activating your body in a very different way. And it's getting ready to use its beautiful self-preserving system, where you went from make sure I hit it hard to I'm just going to let momentum release the T in that direction. That puts me much more in a witness mode and a let the self-preserving machine take care of my shot. And when I talk about self-preserving, if I want to take this ball and throw it that way, well, the first thing my brain's going to do is go get the ground. It's going to use the ground to get my body out of the way so I have access to over there. So I'm not going to intentionally sabotage that. We don't do that. Nobody fails this. Whether I toss it underhand or deliver it overhand, it's a reflex action. I mean, 100,000 years ago, we had to throw a lot of stuff at our food. We're really good for it. And that's why we love sports so much. So let me transfer you over now to an individual that in 5 years, 5 short years, has made it to top 50 in the world of long drive. So Moo used to be a football player. Talk about a gladiator, right? There's no contact in this sport, Moo. You're good now.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're, of course, reacting in a very different way. So let's see how Moo's kinetic chain has really helped him vault him to the best in the world as far as hitting a golf ball very far. And he does it very much effortlessly. So I'm at the commands here. This is this beautiful UNEEKOR machine has been really helping us out a ton. It works better with some white golf balls. The yellow balls in the sunlight tend to give it a misread once in a while, but apart from that, this thing has been really good, especially seeing impact has been phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So, Moo, what would you like to do with this ball?
So I like to play a draw with the ball.
Yeah.
We're gonna start it over the red stake, and then the height I'd like is Twice the height of the trees. So,
Okay.
so this one I'll be playing for accuracy as if I'm on the golf course.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. So you got a very specific flight plan.
Yeah.
And when have another look there since you moved that ball.
Yeah.
So you're going to stay just left of that intermediate point.
Yeah, left of that. So
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
And so when you're on the golf course, there's a very specific feel. You're trying to keep it
A certain
much
height.
lower at a
Yeah.
specific height.
Yeah.
Instead of being 4 times the height of the trees, it's twice the height of the trees.
Exactly.
At most.
Yeah.
And so you got a very specific feel that you're sending in a very specific direction.
That's right.
And you're not trying to kill it, of course.
No, in this state, I'm kind of effortlessly throwing it to the target.
Okay, very good. So we're looking at 360,
Yeah.
192 ball speed. Club speed is basically in your 130 range that you typically use to play with, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So impact here was spot on. And I love the fact, you could see that you were really nicely focused on that. You had your window,
Yeah.
you had your intermediate point, you had the feel that you wanted to use to get into that picture.
Correct.
So whether you execute that nicely or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The key is to stay with it.
Yeah.
So if you look at the data now, if you take a dart team and everybody is on the same level and you split it into 2, and you take team number 1 and have them throw bullseyes only for 2 weeks, an hour a day, you pay them to make sure they stay on that simple task. In 2 weeks, they're going to be 15% better than when they started. And if you take the second half of the team and you force them to make sure they repeat the same motion of the arm and the wrist, they're going to go 23% in the opposite direction. Complete failure of movement because you're Pinocchio without the strings already. So if you stay with, I'm going that way at that height, you're throwing a dart and you're moving forward. But if you go with, hey, I want to make sure this body part goes into that place and I got to make sure I shift my weight, I got to make sure I clear my hips, literally, you're going to chase your tail for years and all you're going to get is a bunch of frustration. So take it from us. This machine of yours is absolutely fabulous, especially that one right here. Holy cow, man. The improvement that's come out is just phenomenal. If you look at the book Atomic Habits, and I'm gonna have Savvy put the valley of disappointment, right? At the beginning of an endeavor, you got a little honeymoon phase, and then you got this, I can't, nothing's working, and in this particular stage, most people bail out and go try something else.
Right.
Whereas if you stay with your task and you keep doing your thing, because Moo did, if you wanted to spend some time with Sav, you had to
Yeah.
play some golf.
Yeah, I had to figure out, I had to work hard on the task that you always
That's
talk
it.
about.
And after 2.5 years, it's like the seas parted, the fog lifted, and you became a champion golfer.
Right.
Like a champion golfer. He's made a bunch of top 16s and top 32s in world-long drive. That to me is championship territory. And it's only getting better. So looking forward to seeing how you do at the Worlds next week,
Yeah, for sure.
which is right about the time you're going to see this video. And have a look at, it's going to be on ESPN,
Yes, ESPN, yeah.
and it should be on the Golf Channel for the finals, right?
I believe so.
So fingers crossed, let's get this guy to the finals. All right. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one.
All the best.